What's up, Juventini? Welcome back to the AJC, your channel dedicated to Juventus. The drought ends finally, and Spalletti walks through the door. Can he turn things around? We're going to talk everything in the aftermath to Juve's 3-1 victory over Udinese. Boys, about damn time. I got Nick with me. I got Mas. Nick, a victory show, man. Is this your first victory show with us? I think so.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, damn, the victory shows are nice. Mas, it's been a while for a victory show. How you doing, brother?
First win in 40 days, man. It's
Nice.
been over a month. How crazy is that, right? But no, I was gonna wear a party hat this morning, but I couldn't find one, so we'll just have to.
Damn it.
We'll have to make do. But no, I'm doing good.
Well, let's see. Spalletti, he's there. Images, videos of him walking out of J-Med, just greeting Milik, the player he'll never get to use, and then saying what's up to some of the fans there. So it's nice to see him arrive there. Everybody knows my feelings on Spalletti, but I don't care because I put all that stuff aside because it's what's best for Juventus. Is Spalletti best for Juventus? Will he turn things around? We'll talk about it, but we do have to cover this game. Headlines, hey, that's pretty much it. The Spalletti era begins. The only other thing in the headlines right now is still a lot of talks about Ottolini coming in as your next sporting director and a break coming with Genoa. And the other one is Khéphren Thuram still in doubt for the next match against Cremonese. So Spalletti might have to wait a little bit before being able to unleash Khéphren Thuram. With the headlines out of the way, we are going to get to everything and say what's up to everybody in the chat so far. Adam Kansikoko, Cliff in here. Great to see you guys. Tuna, Cugino, Eddie, Hadi. Great to see you all in here. Drop a like while you're in here. For those of you that aren't subscribed yet, what the hell are you waiting for? We've got kit giveaways coming out. The next one, brand new home Kenan Yildiz kit. That's this month's giveaway, okay? And then for the legends, they all saw what is up for grabs for them. Those are our membership status holders. And that is the beautiful 2012-13 Black Beast with the one and only.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There you go. Paste to subscribe. Thank you, everybody, for your support. With that, let's get to it. I'm going to rip through Udinese. And we'll start with the starting lineups. Di Gregorio in goal. Brambilla, by the way, calling the lineups. And from what we saw projected to what we ended up getting was quite a bit different. Di Gregorio, Kalulu, Gatti, Kelly, and Kostic. My boy. Then you've got Cambiaso, Locatelli, McKennie, and Yildiz, kind of a little bit hybrid there, but listed as the outside. Openda and Vlahovic up top. 4-4-2. They listed it as 3-1-4-2, and there was a little bit of a free roam there with a couple guys we'll talk about as we cover the game and give our overall thoughts. But for the most part, a pretty safe, pretty standard setup, and just keeping it simple. Probably the right call for Brambilla and what he walked into and everything. We said that this game, well, it was all up to the players. Had nothing to do with Brambilla, had nothing to do with Tudor. This was going to be a player's reaction type game. They were drugged through the mud going into it. Well, let's get to the game and how the reaction came. We didn't have to wait long. 2 minutes in, Kalulu sends a ball forward for Openda, making a good run. And then he slots it through for Vlahovic, draws the PK. Steps up, buries it. 1-0 Juve a couple minutes in. Giddy up. But what's with that run-up, boys, on the PK? Can we talk about that run? Like, I don't know what's with these guys in the hop, step, and the fairy prance and stuff. But, hey, it goes in the back of the net. We'll let it slide. But that, Jesus, man.
They got to change that. They got to change that rule. I hate it.
You hate the stutter and the hop?
No, yeah, as a keeper, it's just so unfair. Like,
it's pretty tough if you're a keeper, man. Trying to, like, stick to your line while all that's going on.
No, it's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Fucked up.
I'm with you, Mas. I'm with you, Mas. Straight up. Straight up. Now, we keep it moving. What a start. What a start, boys. And I will say, the opening, probably 15, 20 solid Like, I think solid start to the game. That's exactly what you wanted to see. However, I felt as the half went on, we kind of struggled to sustain like pressure and really put them under and whatnot. It felt like, you know, they kind of let up a bit and it was a little bit weird. We, of course, get to a point where right before the half, you got another brutal little giveaway. Like, just avoidable goals. This is where it all starts from. Cambiaso in the ball here. And he passes it back to Gatti, who's, again, just 3 feet right next to him there. He puts it into Locatelli. Right now, there's a gap, a healthy gap. You could see Locatelli in the center there with the referee next to him, Di Bello, and then you have Udinese's midfielder there. But by the time the ball gets to Gatti, that midfielder is literally like right up on Locatelli. He ends up getting stripped. We lose it. They come back at us. Zaniolo equalizes right at the half. Zaniolo. Blast from the past there. 1-1 going into half. What the hell is going on, boys? Bad vibes. Bad vibes. Crank it up a notch. Let's go. To the lads' credit, the second half is what we have needed to see way more of this entire season. And consistently. They came out guns blazing, okay? Like, the energy, the tempo in the ball movement, the sense of urgency, that's exactly how they've needed to play. That should always be this team's actual identity, is that they are going to outwork you. Because if the talent isn't overcoming everything, you can't get outworked. And they didn't. Second half, that was awesome. Start to finish in the second half. Fantastic stuff. And the 66th minute, they get a fantastic ball to the back post. Credit Cambiaso on that delivery. Fantastic. And Gatti smashes that thing. Some say keeper should have had it, whatever. But you know what? Too bad. So sad. Beautiful. And Gatti, you might be a fucking striker, brother. You might not be a center back.
I've been telling you this. I've been telling you for a while.
You might be a striker. And then we keep it going. And again, just the whole thing that stood out that half was the work rate and the effort, especially a guy like Dusan Vlahovic from the top. 91st minute, we get rewarded with Kenan Yildiz getting a PK, and he steps up. That's a run-up, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Quick steps, boom, hammer. 3-1. Let's get the hell out of here, okay? Thank you, Brambilla. In comes Spalletti. Game ends there. I'll give you the stats real quick. We'll go through a look at ratings, and then I'm going to get your guys' overview, all right? But, yeah. There it ends. Here's your ratings, okay? Di Gregorio, a 6.6. Kalulu, a 6.5. Gatti, a 7.7. He was your official man of the match. 7.1 for Kelly, 7.7 Locatelli, 7.8 Cambiaso, 6.5 for Weston, 7.7 for Yildiz, 7.8 for Kostic, 5.9 Openda, the only one in the negative. Vlahovic, 7.9. If you're looking at statistics in this game, 57% possession for Juve, 3 big chances created to 1 for Udinese. 25 total attempts to 8 for Udinese. And again, contrast from halves. In the first half, Juve finished with 8 total attempts to 4 for Udinese. That means we had 17 in the second half alone. You gotta outwork your opponent. But that is the stats. That's the ratings. Let's get your guys' overview, and we're going to kick things off with Mas.
Yeah, it has to be said. I mean, there was a chance that that game could have been tied. I mean, there was that one opportunity Udinese had later in the game before
Yildiz PK,
where Digre came over and made a big save, which isn't being talked about enough. I mean, that game could have went a little sideways at that point there. But listen, I mean, overall, I think Trim mentioned it yesterday in the pre-show. You're always going to get that bump when a coach, gets fired. Brambilla wasn't going to be on the sideline throwing out tactics and making
Yeah.
all these adjustments. You said it. It was all on the players yesterday. They shot out like out of a cannon for the first 15 to 20 minutes, and then reality started to set in, and they kind of went back to old ways. So I don't know what happened at a half. I don't know if Brambilla took them in there and sat them down and gave them a talking to. But yeah, like you said, the bottom line is the give a shit level was huge in the second half for this team, right?
Yeah.
That's the bottom line, and we haven't seen that enough this season. So, you can't play at that level for 90 minutes every game. Don't get me wrong, but there's got to be some sort of give a shit there, and it was there yesterday, and we pulled out the win luckily. So all good.
Now, Nick, your overview on that game, your thoughts at the 90?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. We played a lot better than what we've seen most of the season already. There were a couple moments where it got a little scary. Like Moss said, they could have, they could have tied it up. But yeah, man, it's like this is supposed to be a top club. Like, why are we not playing like this all the time? Why are these players not playing like they cared as much as they did, and especially in that second half? There was a point where Duchamp was sprinting for like a minute straight after the ball.
Yeah.
And I was shocked. I was like, wow, okay. It's about time someone's doing something, and they all kind of fed off of that too. The players around him were also, started pressing almost as hard as he was. So, yeah, man, it's just like, why can't you guys do this every game? This is what you're supposed to do. You're Juventus players. So I just hope that, with the bump, with the new manager, like, if it stays like this for a bit, hopefully it could stay like this for a lot longer than just a couple games, because it seems like every time we get a new manager, we do this for a couple games, and then it kind of just goes back downhill.
Yeah.
I'd like to kind of see it stay steady. But overall, it was definitely a more enjoyable watch this year so far. So
it was very enjoyable, I think, especially the latest run we've been on, and it's always nice to get the 3 points, get the win. That was a must in this one. But I gotta say, it's at the same time annoying. It's annoying because there's nothing that has stopped this team from bringing that level from a work rate perspective. And you can't be praising that either, because that should be a bare minimum. We always say that. It's like that just needs to be a given at Juve. So it's one of those things. And we talked about the first half. You walk away 1-1. And it was a so-so first half for me. The fans started jeering the team as they left at halftime. And I think that played a big part of it, because we said, like, this team has been drugged through the mud. This game was going to be on the players. We talk about Brambilla and what he could have possibly said at the half and whatnot. In his presser post-game, he simply said, team's going through a difficult period. Morale wasn't very good, but they are a strong group. I simply told them, focus on the small things on the pitch. Focus on the small things. And that's so key, too, when you look at this team. And we talk about it all the time. Trying to be too cute. Trying to do too much. Just do the fundamentals and the basics correctly, consistently, and you'll be fine. Even in this game, 3-1 victory, some of the same issues still creep up. The goal that we allowed, stupid turnover, useless turnover, that doesn't need to take place. Play it back to your keeper. You're fine. No, try and get cute. Want to tiki-taka out of here. They're pressing you. You don't have the space. Regroup. Sort it out. Little, just these mental breakdowns time and time again. That's why the effort, if you have the mental breakdowns and your effort slips, lights out. And that's one of the things that has been happening that Tudor had to battle. And not just Tudor, coaches before him. It's mental breakdowns and it's a lack of effort and drive. When's the last time you saw Dusan Vlahovic play that way?
Very rarely.
I can't remember. We might be having different discussions about the guy. But we'll get to him as well. Your man of the match in this one was Federico Gatti. Is that who your man of the match was? Chat, who is your man of the match? Mas, was Gatti your man of the match in this one?
For Juve, yeah, but I mean, overall man of the match was friggin' Okoye on Udinese. That guy looked like a friggin' prime Buffon in net yesterday. But yeah, I'll give it to Gatti. He put in a strong showing. It's about time we start using him as striker.
Alex Toth going with Gatti as well. Nick, was Gatti your man of the match?
Yeah, I think he deserves it. I can't think of anyone else on the team that would take it over him, to be honest with you.
We got some shouts for Yildiz. We got a Kostic shout out there. We got a man of the match, Dusan.
Kostic.
For me, it was Dusan. For me, Dusan was the man of the match. I mean, from off the hop, that guy was steady. Yildiz wasn't steady throughout the game for me. There was a point in that game where some fans were talking about, man, you might have to take him out because he was struggling. Second half, he cleaned things up quite nicely, and he was good. But for me, from start to finish, Dusan was the guy. And Gatti, yeah, he had a strong game too. Got that goal, ultimately the game winner. A little bit sloppy at the back there too. And again, the wherewithal on some of these plays, one on that goal that we conceded. So for me, for just steady, I give it to Dusan. But we're going to talk players a little bit later and get into stocks going up and whatnot. But again, for me, it's that feeling that this could have been happening the entire time. We might be in a better scenario all around if that effort level was there, you know. Now, one of the things... Go ahead.
Sorry, but what I like about Dusan, when he's on a heater, when he's in the mood, when he got taken down for that PK, he popped up, he turned to the curva, he threw his hands up, and you saw like that passion and that drive, right? And that's really what I want to see from all our players, and it's something that you don't see very often, unfortunately. In fact, you a lot of the times you see the total opposite. When a goal gets scored on us, they're sulking and they look dejected, right? But that's the kind of energy and passion that I want to see from our players at all times, right?
Agree.
Which is why you're seeing these. We'll talk about it, but that's why you're seeing these shouts for him to renew his contract for next season. But it's just unfortunate because he doesn't put in that effort every game, right? But something's there,
and he's not alone. He's not alone for not bringing that type of effort. So the consistency issue from these guys needs to pick up. We will talk about one of the things that happened in this game, and it's been a huge topic of discussion around the team amongst the fan base, and that is just the setup. I know that a lot of these graphics dressed it up, but the way it played out, that's a 4-4-2 all day. And Yildiz just had a little bit of a free roam from that left where he could get central, get outside. And McKennie had a little bit of freedom to kind of pop forward rather than stabilize with Loca there. But that's a pretty standard 4-4-2. That's very simplistic. It's an old school style. Do you think that that's half the battle with this team, and maybe that's a blueprint, is just to keep it simple and not go overboard in setups? Or do you think we should try something else with Spalletti here? The rumors are saying it's 4-3-3. So guys, I'll start with Nick here. Do you see a blueprint in 4-4-2, keeping it simple, or do you want to see Spalletti do something different?
Even if I did think that keeping it simple would be the way to go from here on out, Spalletti's not gonna do that. He's just gonna. I feel like he's gonna try to impose his ways and make things a little complicated. But if it works, it could pay off. I would like to see a 4-3-3, three-man midfield, personally. And I know we've been saying this for a while. We've only seen it in flashes so far, really. But I mean, keeping it simple, if that was the case yesterday with the 4-4-2, seemed to pay off too. So I don't know if we could find a nice balance between the two. It doesn't mean we have to play one formation the whole rest of the season. We've seen that Spalletti's open to changing things if he needs to. So I don't know. We'll see. But I would like to see a 4-3-3 just to kind of get an idea. Um, and then, a fallback would be the 4-4-2 if stability becomes an issue or performances start to dip maybe. And I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I don't really know what to expect right now.
Yeah. And here, set the formation based on the players we have. Everybody feels differently about that. That's why this conversation is keeps coming up, because Mas, do you see a blueprint in the 4-4-2? Do you want to see a 4-3-3?
Yeah, I mean, what I liked about the 4-4-2 yesterday, it kind of solved some of our issues in the final third. And you talked about it. It was simplicity, right? Look at the amount of shots that we generated. Look at, you know, there seemed to be a cohesion a bit yesterday between the players. I mean, Openda was a 5.9 rating, I think. I think that's being a little harsh on him. Aside from scoring, I thought he had actually a pretty decent game. But it was just very simplistic in the way they executed offensively. Um, Listen, Spalletti is known as an offensive type coach, so I would give him an opportunity to do whatever he wants to do in terms of formation, whatever he feels best. But that doesn't mean that we can't be adaptable and go back to the 4-4-2 when need be. That's what I want to see from a coach, right? I think that's where Tudor sort of had a bit of an issue, and we knew that going in terms of tactical flexibility. I need a coach that's able to kind of be flexible to different situations, right? So I would be okay to start with the 4-3-3, but go back to a 4-4-2 when need be.
One of the things I said is we got to stop this hybrid shit. Anything hybrid doesn't seem to translate with this group. It didn't with Motta. Never really took off or caught steam with Tudor. If we're talking 4-3-3, my only concern is, and I've been saying this for a while, been harping on this for a while, and I think as of late, when we're going to it, it looks better, but playing two strikers. Openda is not a one-man show up there. He's not the guy. Vlahovic does well. He does better when there's somebody else ahead of him. Yeah. It's funny because when he goes on international duty and they talk about formations with him and he talks about setup, and he himself got caught biting on that and talking about formation setups, and everyone missing one of the elements there was that he actually had other strikers there with him. You know, Mitrovic at one of the times being one of them who takes a lot of attention as well. But it will help these guys. It'll help these guys in the long run, having two strikers. That's my one thing with a 4-3-3, is that I think it's better for this group of strikers to play two, and I think it's better for the group to play two. But that doesn't mean that I want to go into a 4-4-2 necessarily, because I'm still on this wavelength of 4-3-1-2 myself personally with the players that we have. And from a 4-3-1-2, you can easily go into a 4-4-2, and you can get other guys involved. Like if you were going to go 4-4-2 and you had Kalulu playing as a right back behind, say, even Chico Conceição, I would play Chico Conceição as an outside mid in a 4-4-2, where he acts as a winger when we're on the ball and gets advanced. There's a lot of flexibility there. But starting off that base, I still think two strikers is key. Where I get concerned is that you can't always have two midfielders in there. That's the thing with 4-4-2. There's going to be games you want to be a little bit more rugged in there and have those three midfielders. So let's see. Let's see what the play is. But I'm open to a straight up 4-3-3. But that's just one of the concerns I have is around the strikers. Let's talk about some of the players in this game. Let's play a little game. Stock up, stock down, based on the performance and how you're feeling so far, all right? Kostic, stock up, stock down. What are you thinking? Nick, stock up, stock down, Kostic. Be a little more useful, play a little bit more of a role, get Cambiaso on the right? What do you think?
I feel like you know what I'm going to say. Stock down. he just doesn't offer much besides just trying to pump crosses in, and like half of them got blocked yesterday. So it's just like I don't know. He infuriates me. I'm not a fan. I never really
He
was.
had a good game yesterday. I'll give him credit. He had a good game yesterday.
He did decent, but to me, it's just still not. It's not good
But
enough.
I'm not. I'm gonna keep it level. I'm not gonna say stock up or stock down, but maybe a little more confidence in being able to go to him. That's all I'm gonna say. Stock up or stock down on Kostic, Mas.
It might just be stock up because of the lack of other options on that side. I mean, it looks like Cambiaso looks better on the right side than he does on the left. So if you're going to throw Cambiaso there, I mean, it's really between Kostic and McKennie. And I think Kostic gives you a little more options in terms of, offensive output. So it may be stock rising just based on that alone.
Mas, Openda, stock up, stock down.
I'd say a slight stock up, very slight. Like I said, I thought he put in a good showing yesterday, and I thought he did everything but score. So, but he's still got a long, long way to go, to be honest.
When he completes 5 crosses, going back to Kostic, Berto's got to buy his jersey. Berto's about to never put names on his kits again. That's where Berto's at with these fucking players, okay?
We're
Nick, Openda, stock up, stock down.
I'm gonna. Can I go with an even here? Just kind of keep it the same.
Sure.
I agree with Moss there. I don't know. I want to see a little bit more. He didn't have the best game yesterday, but he also didn't have the worst. He played decent. He just tried a lot to score, just didn't happen for him. So
I'm gonna say he needs to keep his head up after yesterday's showing. Personally, I'm gonna go stock up a bit, and I'm gonna stick with what I've been saying. The strikers need each other to get each other going. Play 2 at the same time. I'm gonna go stock up on Openda. To be quite honest, he's just gotta. If there's one message I send to him is shoot the damn ball quicker. Just shoot the damn thing. Stop second guessing. Stop hesitating. Let's go. So I'm not going to go stock down there.
yeah.
Cambiaso. Stock up, stock down after yesterday's performance. Nick, stock up, stock down. Chat, Cambiaso.
I'm gonna say up, mostly because the last I don't even know 5 games he's been pretty abysmal. Yesterday was decent. It's better from him, and he had the assist. So
All right. Mas, stock up, stock down on Cambiaso.
Yeah, I'd probably go another slight up on that one just because there's nowhere he can't get any lower. So
It's going up and down.
yeah,
Easy. Down. I'm actually going to go up on Cambiaso. And the reason is because when he got substituted in the Lazio game, I think that was one of the first games he looked alive in terms of helping the attack and stuff. And I actually wouldn't have substituted him in that game. And I think yesterday, again, I think he did it. He did a good job yesterday. And that cross was money, and we need him to get going. And that's something we kind of forgot about. Well, we didn't, but at times I felt like Tudor forgot. This guy can play both sides. He doesn't have to be pigeonholed on the left. Might have given you a little bit more flexibility and might have been able to get you the fuck away from Kalulu as a right wing back. So it's one of those things where, hey, we could feel bad for Tudor. There's some shortcomings there, I think, still from a coaching perspective, but I do ultimately feel for him because of the effort level these guys gave yesterday. And God damn it, do we need to change coaches every week like Nick was hinting at here? Are we changing coaches every 2 weeks just to keep that fire up? That's not doable. So let's go, lads. I'm going to go stock up on him. Vlahovic. Here it is. Stock up, stock down. Mas, Vlahovic.
no, I got to go up on that one. I think he put in a very solid showing yesterday, and I think under Spalletti, we may have something there. I've maintained. Listen, he's the best striker on the roster still, by far. aside from possibly Gatti. Let's be honest. But yeah,
Gatti might be better up there than he is at the back.
Know.
This year, he's definitely better up top than he is at the back. So stock up on Vlahovic. Nick, you were already pointing up to the sky. Stock up, eh?
Yeah, I'm stock up for sure. He's for me, personally, especially when the team's not playing amazing. I don't know, his attitude always seems to be there in a good way. He's always got that kind of fighting spirit, whether he's playing bad or good. But I feel like when he's playing better, it kind of just feeds off of that a little bit. You know, he plays better, his attitude becomes better. He starts wanting to press more and do more, work harder. You know, it all kind of just snowballs in a good way. So, yeah, I think definitely up for me.
I'm going to say stock up, but Jesus, this guy, I can't forget about the years prior, man. It's hit and miss with the attitude. It's hit and miss with the attitude. Credit where credit's due. Yesterday, fantastic, start to finish. That's what we needed. That's what we needed for years, him to actually be consistent as a leader, even just from a mentality performance and like just a mental kind of bar that you set for the team. I can't erase from my mind the issues with the fans, getting involved in arguments with the curva, the pissing, the moaning, and the sulking at every turn. Like I mentioned earlier, the discussion about formations and setup when things weren't going well. Hey, yesterday, what did he say after the match? He literally said, clearly, we need to stop talking and need to start performing. Whoa! Where the fuck have you been? Where the fuck have you been? Is this all for show in a final contract year as well? Do we get sucked in? Here's the situation. Juve is going to attempt to renew Dusan Vlahovic. So, how do you feel about a renewal with Dusan Vlahovic? If you had to make the decision right here today, what are your stipulations to it? Would you renew him? Or do you think a break is necessary? Mas.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the number, first of all. I mean, I'm not re-signing him to anywhere near what he's making currently.
But let's say he comes at you right now. You have to make the decision right this second. And it's, I want to be the top paid on your team. Still going to be a double-digit salary. This is what he's looking for, according to all the reports anyways. You got to make the call right now, today. Do you re-sign Dusan Vlahovic? I just want to be top paid player on your team or equal to those top paid.
No, I don't do it.
You don't do it?
I don't do it based on history, like you said. Not set aside the personal stuff and, you know, his behavior and all that. Just in terms of stats, he's never performed to the level of what he's being paid. So if he wants to be paid as the highest or one of the highest players on the team, he's never performed up to that level. So for me, he would have to take a major pay cut and understand that he may not be the go-to guy in terms of striker moving forward.
So here's the thing: if we're looking at our top guys right now, are Bremer and Jonathan David. So David's at 6 million base with a 2 million bonus. Bremer is at 5 with a 1 million bonus. To be honest, Kenan Yildiz could come out and be your best paid player after the renewal. So he could become the highest paid player. If Dusan Vlahovic says, I want that. Meanwhile, again, Openda isn't far off at 4 million with 1 million bonus. This is all net, by the way, everybody. You might have a discussion there. Nick, would you sign him if he says he just wants to be at the top money on your team? Say he wants around Bremer and David money at 6 mil. Would you re-sign him right now today?
Well, first of all, I didn't even know David was the highest. That's kind of crazy to me. To be honest with you.
He'll be
But
fine. He'll be
hopefully.
fine.
I don't know, man. I now I said earlier, yes, I would like to, you know, based on right now performances from him versus our other strikers, like he's to me the better one out of the three. Um, I just don't know about the highest, if you wanted top dollar, I don't know about that. Like Moss said about, looking back on history and kind of what he's done for the club and his demands, they don't really see, they're not really eye to eye, I guess. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Can I just not have a yes or no on this?
No, we got to put
I
you on
really
the
don't
spot.
know.
You got to make a call. Mas says no.
Um, I'm gonna say yes.
You're gonna say yes.
I'm gonna be the antagonist here.
Oh,
Now you're on the spot because I said yes and he said no.
It's tough, man. It's not easy, right? Like,
Yeah.
I say no. I say no. I don't like this, like, only because of me personally, and it feels like a trap. It feels like a trap when you're talking about erasing years. We're not erasing 6 months. We're erasing years and just being like, no, we're good. Like, I can't do that. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. And I get it. There is an argument if he were to come down to that salary. But again, the devil's always in the details. We're creating just, a hypothetical here. Double digits, if we're talking double digit salary that he's looking for, like net, sorry, man. That's no. That's no. And I get it. Because when you look at Openda's salary, you look at David's salary, again, I'm still of this belief that we're not getting enough out of the group as a whole. If it was one, two, like a couple guys here and there, there's still the majority of these guys underachieving for me in the group. So I'm still going to say we need a lot more to get the most out of our players. I'm not going to throw guys under the bus immediately and just say that's it. It's done. Yeah, but Dušan's a tough call there. It is a tough call. It isn't easy. Not by any means. But it could be easy if it's double digits. I don't know. I don't know.
well, the other problem with that is you're setting a dangerous precedent, giving a guy a salary that high, which doesn't equate to statistics, right, and performance. So players coming after him can be like, well, I only scored 8 goals. Why can't I get a double-digit contract, right?
Yeah.
You got to look at it that way too.
Go on incentive for the extra. Like, hey man, you want double digits? You'll get there, but on incentive based. Goals scored, whatnot, like some type of achievement tied to the club. Like, we got to start looking incentive based too, I think, with a lot of these guys and what they're making. Like, we really have to, because like I said, one of the issues for years now has been this feeling of they're on a resort, they're on vacation. Welcome to Juve, where you cannot live up to expectations, and it's totally cool. And you'll just keep getting like minutes repeatedly, and like that's gotta stop. So I'm totally fine. Start throwing some incentive bonus contracts out there, and make them live up to it. We'll see. But for now, everybody, after this game, stock up on Dušan. Let's see. For Spalletti, as we saw the images, we saw the video, him at Juve's facilities, obviously walking out of J Medical, greeting some fans there as well. Everything is expected to be signed today. He's actually supposed to be in charge of a session today is what they were claiming, okay? Probably going to be announced very quick, but Cremonese, the next matchup, is his game. When we look at the schedule this month, and you start looking at Juve's matches, obviously we got Cremonese. We have Sporting in Champions League as well. Then the rest of the month is going to round out like this. Torino, the Derby della Mola on the 8th of November. Fiorentina, 22nd. 25th, Bodo Glimt, which will be tough in Champions League as well. 29th, Cagliari. Did Juventus act at the perfect time to make this switch, in your opinion? Because some were saying, don't pull the trigger on Igor Tudor. Wait it out. These players aren't doing enough. Did they act at the right time in sacking Tudor? Nick?
Yeah, I think so. I think, especially with the run of games coming up, to me, it makes the most sense. And I was saying this before, but I think they kind of learned their lesson with Malta, keeping him for as long as they did without doing anything or stepping in. I know it's a little bit of a different situation, but I think it was only kind of a matter of time before the players started losing a little more faith in Tudor. Especially with that last game, man, what did he switch formations 3 or 4 times throughout the game? Like, he just seemed lost, and I don't think we could have that any more games moving forward. So I think it was a good time to act. I personally would have done it. So.
And Mas, do you think this is the perfect timing that they chose? I saw a comment in here saying it was a little bit late for George there, but Mas, think it was the right time?
Yeah, I think Nick nailed it. We waited too long with Malta last season. The way you got to look at it is, with Tudor still on the bench, it looks like a manageable schedule. But the way we were playing, none of those games would have been gimmies. Whereas in this case, with the new coach, I think with the team hopefully being revitalized, I think the team was looking at the next run of games and saying we can put some results together here and kind of turn the tide. So I think this was, the opportune time to do it, because the fear would have been with Tudor, there would have been maybe a loss in there, maybe a couple of ties. But the schedule is very manageable going forward.
I think, if you're looking at schedule-wise, perfect timing. Because if you want to pull in a new guy right in the middle of the tough sector there, that's pretty rough too, right? Like, you want a little bit of a new coach bump, and some favorable matches so that you can kind of try to pick up some steam, right? Build something up quickly around it if you're going to do it. So this is where we're at. I think the timing was spot on, especially when we go back to the post-match where we showed up here. I literally had to change the thumbnail from sticking with Tudor to Juventus sack Tudor. None of us expected it. Very few actually thought they would pull the trigger at that moment. And that goes to show you that probably is good timing. Because if that many people are surprised, it probably would have been later. It would have probably been a feeling like this is too late the longer you let it drag out, right? But it is a shame that that's what it took for these guys to start taking accountability and to actually play at that level, right, that we got in the second half there.
And if the Lazio game showed us anything, it's that Tudor was out of ideas and he was just throwing stuff at the wall, hoping something sticks, right? You could not move forward with him because he showed the league that he was done, right?
Spalletti's coming in, and now it's going to be his show, and we'll see what he can get going with this team. It is an 8-month contract. It has they claim option. They're still using the word option, but it's listed as automatic option should we reach top 4. Mixed feelings from fans. And the reason is because this Serie A is very weak in the eyes of many. And reaching top 4 doesn't necessarily mean anything crazy from an achievement perspective by any means. So to lock in simply for making top 4, does that make you feel comfortable? Are you okay with that being automatic? All you got to do is reach top 4. You're not cool with that, Mas?
I am definitely not.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? We're just repeating the exact same thing we just did. Like,
Yeah.
it's, you nailed it with the weaker Serie A. If you look at it, we were winless in 8 games. We won a game, and I think we're within 2 of top 4 now.
We're 6 points out of the top, despite being winless in
which is wild.
Yeah.
No, I don't want an automatic renewal. I want the option to be able to pull out and then in the summer review what you have available coming off of a World Cup and then make a decision for your long term. That's what I want. That's what the majority of the fan base wants. My hope is that the Juve brass has learned their lesson finally and we'll go that route. But if it's an automatic renewal, man, it's
Juve might have to dial up these contracts. I think Obenda's automatic obligation is top 10 in Serie A. Jesus.
Wild,
You think
we were
going down? Nick, how do you feel about it being automatic with just top 4?
I don't like it either. Because like Mas said, like if you wanted to pull out, with him, you kind of can't especially if he barely scrapes top. Like, say if it came down to the last match day and we just scraped top 4 and the whole rest of the season from now until the end with Spalletti's just a rocky road and no one's convinced, which I hope's not the case. But if that happens and he barely gets top 4 and then he gets an automatic renewal, nobody's happy, then we're just going in circles, man. It's
yeah.
I don't know.
I would have liked something a little bit more intense if you're going to make it obligation. And, I see there's some out there that believe, well, he's not going to stick around if he's not succeeding or whatnot. So we're just going to keep him to faith? Or are we going to try and break a record for most coaches held under contract over the past fucking 2 years? Because that's going to be another one. We're already 25 million deep over 2 guys. And now we're going to add another one. Which is just reaching top 4, which, for God's sakes, in this Serie A, like, come on, what are we talking about here? So, I just don't like it, and everybody knows where I stand with Spalletti. I don't like the guy, I don't. However, I can make sense of the situation from Juve's eyes, even if it's not my, preference. I can make sense of why they're doing this. Everybody can. It's clear. They're going the experienced route. They're going with Spalletti. I just don't like the guy. But that won't stop me from supporting him wholeheartedly, and I hope he turns this thing around. If I ask you the question, because Kenan Yildiz was asked this question about making changes, fighting for the top, and he said it is still early in the season. We go game by game. It's way too early to think about that. We're still a quarter of the way through at 9 games played in Serie A. We are 6 points out from the top. Do you believe that Spalletti can turn it around and that we will be competing for the Scudetto? Or do you think the shortcomings with the group will still come through?
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much a manager can do. At the end of the day, guys, I don't think we have the roster to compete to win the league. That's just me. Some may question that, but I just don't see it. I think long term it would be difficult. I think top 4 is more of a realistic objective for us. Listen, I think Spalletti's going to come in here and give us some of that experience that we've been lacking and we've been kind of craving this whole season and last season. But it'll be tough. It'll be tough, especially listen, Milan's playing well, Roma's playing well. I mean, I don't see them winning the league either, but I think it's ultimately going to come down to between Inter and Napoli. Unfortunately.
All right. And Nick, what do you think?
I honestly, I mean, I think it's very possible, especially if, you know Spalletti's going to give his all and try his best to really figure this thing out. And I know he definitely is going to be trying to right his wrongs with his time at the Azzurri. So, with that being said, I think if the players are on board and he kind of plays his cards right, I think we have a good chance of doing, something good, or at least go on a nice run of wins, and momentum kind of picks up. But the thing you have to also kind of recognize is that, you know, I still feel like we're kind of thin in the back line and maybe in some aspects of the midfield, that we're like one or two injuries on top of, the ones we already have, away from derailing that. So if we're on like a nice win streak and people are starting to be like, oh, well, top four is probably going to be guaranteed. We're winning a bunch of games. We're looking a lot better, whatever. And then Locatelli goes out injured, or, Gatti, someone that plays week in and week out. I don't know. It could be derailed from, if you look at that. But
Yeah. So we've got Suarez saying competing for the Scudetto, no chance. Depends on January from Draghi. We need consistency above all from Sean, and then Michael G with we need a top midfielder to win Scudetto. I'm going to go out here and say, guys, hey, this old mind sometimes, okay, I can plan things out quite nicely. We just finished talking about how weak Serie A is as a whole in general, and I do stand by that comment. I believe it is weak. We talked about the drought we were just in. We're 6 points out of the top. You've got your coach coming in that's experienced. That's what you wanted. Some of his most favorable setups, okay, might make sense for this group, especially when you talk about how thin we are at the back. I don't like going with this persistent three center backs, whatever, and you're using Kalulu out of right. I thought that was crazy from Tudor, because one injury away from being absolutely screwed and playing all of them every minute consistently through. This guy, if he can get that team to just show that effort and that work rate consistently, that's half the battle right there. But all you got to do is win against the teams that you need to be winning consistently. You just got to get those games over the hump. If you're looking at the games we dropped, the efforts were pathetic and abysmal. You clean that up, and some of those draws, my goodness. Speaking to Spalletti and how he does like to be offensive with his teams, I see some intense finishing training sessions coming up for this group on finishing. And for Openda, it might be straight up just shooting on the one touch. Like, let's go, buddy. Fire the damn thing the second you have it. I still see no reason. You've done this shakeup for a reason. You've got an experienced guy coming in. An experienced guy that's coming into this with egg on his face from what happened with the Azzurri. You've got players with egg on their face. With Tudor getting sacked. Jeered at halftime yesterday too. If they can't put it together and use all of that as fuel, might have to blow it up, boys. Might have to blow it up. You have to. You have to be able to get it going. You have to be able to get it going and put something together and get firing and get it running. And if the experienced guy comes in and he doesn't have any ideas of how to get these guys playing a little bit better, a little more consistently, holy shit. Holy shit.
I don't buy the narrative, though, that he's trying to right a wrong from his Azzurri stint. I mean, I don't see this as his redemption tour. Like, it's not like he's going to come in here and coach 50% harder than he was when he was with Italy.
You don't think he'll be a little more humble rather than egotistical the way he was after he won with Napoli and while he was at Napoli?
Well, one would hope, because then we don't have to
1,000% think he'll be a little more humble. He got embarrassed with the Azzurri. He was embarrassed with the Azzurri.
But in terms of actual managing, we know what he's about. It's not like he's going to revolutionize, the team. It's basically we know his capabilities. It's a lot of it's going to come down to the players. Yildiz isn't wrong when he said it's game by game, and we say it all the time, because if this team's shown us anything, it's that they have no ability to build any sort of momentum and continuity from good performances. So, I mean, you have no choice but to take it game by game.
I don't know, man. I see it. I feel the desperation, especially when the only call he's getting is from like wherever the hell it was, Al Ittihad or something like that. I think there's going to be a desire there, and all this talk about player issues predetermined from like the Azzurri and stuff, I think all that goes out the window. I think it's just a bunch of nonsense, especially when the majority of it's coming from Repubblica, who's garbage. And funny enough, that's Scanavino's paper. But they're putting all the shit out about these predetermined issues with players and whatnot. I bet you he comes in and everything's good. And I'm willing to actually bet there are no issues with Locatelli when he shows up. I'd be willing to go that far. But, Nick, do you think Spalletti's going to be hell-bent on succeeding?
In a way, I hope so. So that helps us, helps the team and the players. I think overall he will be. That's just my opinion. Especially, like I said before, after his little time at the Azzurri there. He's gonna maybe want to prove something. That hey, I'm not as crazy or not as bad of a coach as a lot of you might think I am, and I don't know. I just really hope he keeps the philosophical crap out of the pressers.
Oh no, that's going to be coming, man. Get ready for it. You're going to be. I called it yesterday. Rochelle, a young woman's journey from Milan to Minsk. He's going to fill these lads in on all sorts of stories. The philosopher,
Great.
The riddles. Hey, man.
Great.
Spalletti, accept him for what he is, man. In that regard,
winning,
I don't think he's going to change. But I do get a feeling like when guys like Buffon are coming out publicly and these guys are vouching for you, you can't get egg on your face twice. All right. So let's see.
At the end of the day, this guy has won a Scudetto, right? It may have been, in a year that wasn't as competitive and things went his way, but he's won a title. So
yeah,
you can't discount that with him coming.
He's won a Scudetto. Back in the Roma days, he won Coppa Italia's. That team was actually competing for Scudetti, but they choked every single time, and that was one of the things that stuck with him. He obviously went to Zenit and won the league there and everything, but not a lot of weight on that. No disrespect or anything, but this is where it's at. The Scudetto with Napoli was the big one there, and again, some people look at it a lot with Inter just absolutely choking with the strongest side in the league there. And we look at their cycle as a whole. If you want to look at Inter, merda. And I actually love it because they thought they were going to rival us in the decade of dominance or something. Guys, you're not even in the same stratosphere by any means. So day to all of them, okay? Day. And for Spalletti, let's see what you can do. I hope that any feelings I have get swept away and he has me just fucking jacked up on him being the coach. But from a personal level, I got issues, guys. Guys, this could be Berto's villain's origins here, okay? This could be the villain art. Like, we got Kostic in 25-26 playing for this team. Yesterday, I watched him in there from the start. We got Spalletti coming in here. Guys, all I'm saying is Berto's villain arc is on high alert, okay? It's on high alert right now. So let's see.
Right there
Adam,
with you.
let's get to Storm the Barn. What did Facundo Gonzalez say when he sent a DM to an Instagram model and instantly regretted it? Fuck undo, Facundo. Fuck undo. Adam, yellow. Not red. I'm not going straight red because to pull Facundo Gonzalez is just effort, okay? So to pull the name Facundo Gonzalez out of here, fuck undo. That's not bad. It's not bad. If these rumors of renewing DB9 are true, whether it's for 1 year or longer, what are the odds we are doing it to not get a sale? Management might see him as valuable for Spalletti. I mean, if you were running into a renewal and you're going to run into a renewal at the cost involved to do that strictly to try and sell a guy at that point, it's kind of a wild risk because the players hold all the power. So if your intention was not of actually keeping him, that's a crazy risk to take because we've got stuck with players on way less salaries. McKennie is one of them. We've tried selling him 3 years in a row. He keeps saying no to all the teams involved. I'm not buying that one. If they renew, there's intent to keep him. That's my thoughts. Do you guys agree?
Yeah. I mean, if you renew him at a salary anywhere close that you're paying him now, he's not going to be very, very marketable to sell, right? So, I mean, that salary is going to be an issue for teams outside of the EPL. But we'll see.
Yeah,
agreed.
I mean, if you're going to renew him, it has to be the intent that you want him staying around. Otherwise, you've already come to terms. You've already set everything up. Elkan just pumped another 30 million in capital to the team, probably to shut everybody up around what's going on and the spotlight being on him and everything. And now even the ultras shining a light on him and everything. But all of us know that's just half the battle. That's not really doing anything other than what would be expected of an owner. But nonetheless, thank you. But we got to get the calls start going right. Kamoli. I'm skeptical of that guy. I am, but that's just me. Cambiaso plays much better on the right. For some reason, him and Yildiz never fully gelled. He actually had better chemistry with Imbangula. I've always said, and people have fought me on it, that I might prefer Cambiaso on the right. I'm fine with him on both sides, but when your team doesn't have balance, we should have gone to him on the right a lot earlier this season. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I was going to say, you want to know why I think that is too, is because he's a lefty, right? So, and he is a very hybrid-esque / utility player, and he can play pretty much anywhere, and he likes to drift in the midfield a lot. So when he gets the ball, he's more of like an inverted outside back in a way, where he kind of drifts into the midfield and becomes a little bit of a playmaker at times, can be. So I think it gives him a little more freedom to kind of make things happen. When he's on the left side, and he's trying to cram down that left flank, I think he's a little more limited in a way. That's just my opinion. I mean, I think he's just got a little more versatility and more options.
He's a hybrid
on the
player
right
for
side.
sure. Getting inverted suits him, and being a left-footed, he can use both feet, but he is predominantly left-footed, so it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, it hasn't really taken off between him and Yildiz. That's a great point from Cucino, Eddie, is that, to be honest, I've said this a lot about a lot of our players on our team. We have a lot of guys that want the ball to feet, and not a lot of guys that want to work the space and want to make the runs to create space. That's another reason why I've been harping for the 2 striker setup for a while now, because the strikers will move. All of those guys do. David, Vlahovic, Openda, that's one thing that they all share in common that they do. They create space. They will move. They will make runs and not get rewarded just to create space and whatever for somebody else in the group. It's up to our midfield and what we do there for them to take advantage. But Yildiz, that's one of the things too, is ball always at feet and stuff. Like, we need these guys, even when Chico comes on the pitch, he's got to attack some space. We got to send the balls in for him at times. Last game, we saw a nice one from Locatelli over the top to Chico, making a run in behind the defense. And I'm like, holy fuck, can we do this a little more often? Way more dangerous. But Mas, do you think Cambiaso's better on the right? Do you see some issues with him gelling with Yildiz? To Kajino Eddie's point.
Yeah, no, I never noticed that in terms of the left side. What I do know is that when I've seen him on the right, he's played a lot better than on the left side. So we're trying to restart this guy to the version that we saw early last season. So if that's going to come on the right side based on his performance yesterday, keep trotting him out there. I mean, our other options there are Kalulu and Joao Mario. Although I'd like to see Joao Mario a little more. We've seen Kalulu at that right back position, and I'm good with that.
If you end up going that route, though, who takes over the left outside spot for you? We can't go Kostic starting as a starter now.
Krostic. Until Cabal comes back. But I mean, Cabal was supposed to be your center back solution. So, but this is what I'm saying, guys. Like, in terms of roster,
Big Mac,
we're nowhere near where we need to be, man. Like,
Big Mac.
At that point, it's got to be Kelly. Like, who else are you going to put back if we do? Who else is going to go there then?
Big Mac. I'd play McKennie there. I'd play Big Mac there.
I don't know.
He shut down Dumfries when he was coming in on a heater. He's arguably better on the outsides than he is in the middle of the park for me.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to put anyone there, yeah.
Kelly
I guess.
was terrible on the outside when he first came into this team with Mota. Like, it was unplayable. But this is one of the problems. If you even believe that Cambiaso is truly better on the right, in order to get him there, who's that guy on the left? Because it can't be Kostic starting. It can't be, you guys.
No.
Good showing yesterday. Thank you. Starting him? It's got to be Wes.
Mario play on the left? Has he played on the left? I'm not sure.
He has, and it wasn't too great. It's definitely nowhere near how comfortable he looks on the right. It's got to be Wes. It's got to be Wes.
Big Mac.
As long as you know you're not getting much offensive output from that side.
Which is fine because Yildiz predominantly plays off that side and centrally, right?
Yeah.
And then at least you have somebody that isn't Kalulu trying to press the offense from the right outside position.
Yeah. That might be it.
We'll see. And yes, thank you, Ramiro. The Jays getting it done yesterday. We're 1 win away. Oof. Yamamoto coming in, though, hot on Friday. That's going to be tough. That guy is nasty. Nasty. Let's see if we can shock him, though. Sean, what if at the end of the season Vlahović decides to sign a new contract and stays? Well, hey, they decide to resign him. That's the decision they make, and then we move, right? At that point, look, we're not even going to have to wait to that point. October 30th, from now until January, when this guy can start to actually sign a pre-agreement with teams because he's going to be free in the summer, you'll know right within. If Spalletti all of a sudden gets this guy screaming, we'll see. We'll see what happens, right?
Yeah.
We'll see. Berto, I think you are a bit harsh on Spalletti. Apart from the disaster with the national, all his stints at Italian teams were at least okay. At least okay is at least okay. What are we talking about here? Yeah, Coppa Italia's. Nothing with Inter. Okay, top 4. We're celebrating top 4 with Inter there. Inter fans didn't want him, didn't like him. I don't know what to tell you. That Roma side, we were in the banter era, arguably banter era 2.0 for the past few years, okay? But we were in the banter era. It was a winnable Scudetto for them, and they kept choking. I don't know what to tell you. You think I'm too harsh on them? Hey, is what it is. Is what it is. I'm boasting. Let's not forget he won 2 Coppa Italias back-to-back with Inter. He got top 4. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. I said during the summer that Tudor would get axed before January. My hot take is Spalletti pushes for the Scudetto this season and most definitely wins it next year. Buddy, from your text to the football gods. That's all I could say. From your text to the football gods. I'd love to see us fighting for the Scudetto this year. And this Serie A is just so weak. So weak.
Creator.
Dress up as Halloween
I like
since
this one.
Creator Club can't give us any more clips. Oh my God. Halloween costume? Jesus. What's terrifying would be to be Kalulu as a right wing back. That's going to be my terrifying Halloween costume. This year. That's
I'm going to be a clown.
I'm going to dress
By
up
clown.
as Gendouzi just so somebody can punch me right in the nose.
What's that?
I'm going to dress up as Gendouzi just so somebody can punch me right in the nose.
Yeah, and you could double it up too and carry around a saxophone and be Kenny G. So take your pick. Oh,
Just
man.
change outfit.
There you go. Mitch, Spalletti at Inter. He goes, Conte comes and gets Scudetto. Same at Napoli. He can build, and our next coach will be Conte. What on earth, Mitch? What on earth are we doing here? Spalletti is the plan to build for Conte on a return? Conte's dead to me, by the way. I don't even recognize that name any longer. Done. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this Spalletti thing. Do you think I'm being too harsh on old man Spalletti? I don't know how I'm being harsh by saying I will back him wholeheartedly because I don't cheer on coaches or players. I cheer on Juve. They've hired him. It's not like it was my call. I wouldn't have made that call without our option. That's the only thing that I'm saying out of all of our options that we could have done. I just don't want to see us committing, especially at something that I see as bare bones, which is top 4. That's the reason you sacked Tudor, is because you have doubts that he's going to get you in top 4 in a very weak Serie A. Chiellini came out and said it. Said, look, we have to thank Igor Tudor for bringing us to Champions League, which was not a guarantee. We made a change because we believe the team is better and more capable. A top 4 is bare minimum. I'm not being harsh on him by saying I still want the option to be in our hands. That would have gone for anybody that we would have hired.
Yep.
Unless it was elite. So I guess I'll change the question, even for George, who says I'm being harsh. Is Spalletti an elite manager in your personal opinion? And I'm going to put this as a poll here for everyone in the chat. Mas, is Spalletti an elite manager for you?
No, that list for me is very, very small in terms of elite managers in the world. Is he one of the better managers in Serie A? Yes, but not in the world. Listen, nobody on this panel is sitting here hoping this guy's going to fail.
Exactly.
It would be the most fantastic thing if this guy could come in, right the ship, and then we win a Scudetto. I'd be friggin' the first one partying. But I think we'd be doing a disservice to the Army and everybody else who watches and listens if we didn't voice the concerns that are pretty visible for everybody to see. And I don't think it's wrong of us to say we don't want to commit to this guy just based on the last couple of years. Why would you? It doesn't make any sense because we're just going to be in this same spot potentially next year. So I hope he does well. I hope he comes in and everything is peaches. But
if I say one thing too is he's not elite. I would commit to an elite manager and give away, options. He's a good coach. I don't think he's an awful coach. He's a good coach. Is he elite? No. But one of the things I have is that Napoli team he walked into, he didn't build. So, what are his picks going to be like if you commit to him? Who's he going to want? Are we going to make a mad push for Di Lorenzo in January? Who is he going to want? Who's he after? I haven't seen Spalletti, kind of do that. And we kind of need that. We need that cohesion. Camoli and Tudor obviously didn't have it. Now all of a sudden there's people talking about Tudor never actually was involved in any of the transfer meetings and whatnot. Do whatever you want with that. Take it with a grain of salt. But who's this guy gonna want? Who is he actually built or created or helped organize to do some with? It's one thing to say he could do something with whatever he's given, but that obviously isn't the case because he literally was in charge of what he was given with the Azzurri. And it was a horror show.
Yeah.
Club football is much different. Yes. And he'll be with them daily. Yes. And he could tell them all the riddles he wants. But god damn it. I am a little skeptical about just the fact that we're giving in on options. That's all. That's all. But as we've already mentioned, there are some good things that he could bring. Maybe this team needs him to kind of crack the whip. Maybe he needs to bench certain guys. If I have to hear about Cope Miners being relaunched one more time, he's down to 2 more relaunches. This relaunch with Spalletti, and then the next launch is to the moon.
I read that this morning, and I'm
Mars.
like, Jesus, I did the exact same thing. How many times are you going to relaunch this guy? Jesus,
Holy
man.
fuck, the guy's been relaunched. Holy shit, this is the last shot at relaunching. Yeah. Otherwise, strap to a rock and see you later, buddy. I don't know. 59%. 59%. No, Spalletti is not an elite manager. 41% say yes, he is. I think he's a good manager.
That's a lot closer than I thought, to be honest.
I don't think he's elite. I don't think you could consider him an elite manager. I think he is a good manager. I don't think he's amongst the ranks of elite.
If he comes into this and wins the Scudetto for us this year, then maybe.
I tell you what, that'd be a hell of a step towards elite.
Maybe.
So you know what? Even if I am being too harsh, who gives a shit? Prove it. Because that's what everybody needs to do. Okay? It's what everybody at Juve needs to do. We've been saying it for weeks now. Earn your stripes. Earn your stripes. So you know what? I'm being too hard? Good. I'm going to start being way too hard on everybody. Because it needs to be better. Just like people said I'm too harsh on Camoli, I'm skeptical about him. He's only been here 3 months. I don't give a shit. I'm going to start being hard on everybody. Prove it. Prove it. I'm done with it being Club Med, guys. And a vacation. I'm over it. It's Juve. Step up. Shit or get off the pot. Actually, don't shit, because that's what a lot of them have been doing. So fucking sort it out. Okay? Sort it out. Juve since 2011. The problem is no world-class coach wants to coach our club. And who in the world right now is available? Let's be real here. We got no options. Palladino might be another Motta 2.0. Listen, you're not going to draw a world-class coach when your office is shambles.
Yep.
You don't think if you had the right guys up top, guys with serious accolades, with names that demand respect, that they can't get somebody that wants to be a part of what they're doing? I believe you could. But besides the point, that's a whole separate side of it. Palladino might be another Motta 2.0. Yes, and experience does not guarantee you results.
Yeah, but the difference with Palladino is you're probably not committing to that additional 1 or 2 seasons.
How did Ancelotti do when he went to Napoli? How did Ancelotti do when he went to England there in those on those clubs? Experience doesn't guarantee you shit.
No.
It all has to come together. It all has to come together. That's why I'm just saying, like, committing. I wouldn't have committed to Palladino. I wouldn't commit to Spalletti.
Yeah.
What's our plan? What is our plan? The whole point I'm trying to make is, would you be more comfortable planning with an elite coach or with somebody that you don't deem elite? Because I'd be more comfortable planning with someone that has shown that they could do it, that they could build, that they could create, or even that they could guarantee you a lot with what they're given. I'm a little skeptical on that with Spalletti. That's all. It's a difficult thing when you talk coaches because there is no one way. And I've always said this across the board. People have opinions. The truth usually lies somewhere in the middle. Because even if this guy is an elite, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's not going to succeed. I'm just saying, how confident are you in committing? How confident are you in committing to the guy? For me, at this juncture, at this moment, for Juventus, I would only be confident in committing to such a baseline objective like top 4 if the guy was elite and I know that I have more confidence in him going forward. I don't get that from Spalletti. That's just me personally. Is what it is. You know? That's how I look at it. But people are saying, well, Palladino, like, multitude. Yeah, I wouldn't have committed to him either. I wouldn't commit to any of the options you could have pulled in right now. People liked Terzic. I wouldn't commit to him. Wouldn't commit to Palladino. Wouldn't commit to Mancini. Don't even want Mancini. Wouldn't commit to Spalletti. It's a preference thing, boys. You know? How do you view it? Like, do you not see it kind of the same? Like, if you want to commit and he's going to get a 2-year automatic option on a top 4, you know, it's a comfort level thing.
Well, look, we're paying 2 different coaches now that aren't even here, and their staff too, right? I believe.
Yeah.
You can't commit to anyone at this point. It's, you know, how many more times are we going to keep doing this? Like, we have to learn from the past mistakes here.
Being a Juventus fan gives me anxiety for real. It's you know,
beyond like, that, brother.
And this goes back. I'll tell you why. And to somebody's point, maybe why I'm might seem a little bit harsh right now is like this. It's like this. If you can go back to the summer, how come they didn't go for Spalletti in the summer?
They didn't want him.
How come?
I'm still convinced that the plan was never for Tudor to be a long-term option. And the hope was he would do the best he could this season. And if he didn't, you fire him and then you find your long-term coach. Based on, like, I can't believe that transfer market was anything more than desperation. The way it was handled, I don't feel like that transfer market was built for Tudor to be successful. So I think that was the plan all along.
And here it is. I think the club is just patching things. This is not a lot. This is exactly why I'm nervous about it all. It's because it's patchwork. If their plan, because this is the same office that was there, if their plan was this, they could have done it in the summer. They decided not to. This is now like all of a sudden, oh yeah, no, this is what we want. But you didn't want it in the summer. Why? That's what my mind can't get over, and that it feels like just patchwork. So if this isn't a long-term decision, which I don't feel it is, I hate the fact that there's a commitment tied to it. And that's why we're like, that's why it is, you know? Yeah. To Naima in here saying, you know, this is affecting my personal life, talking about things that might be deemed a little negative. Dude, this is sports. Please don't act like the players and don't want to run around doing TikToks all the time just about like what you eat, what your favorite Italian dish is. This is real fans talking about real shit around the club that they love. This is what it is, you know? And if this is deemed negative, buddy, you haven't even seen. We've been through some of the worst seasons. Like the point thing, the shit that me, Omer, and Skanga did, show after show after show, when that whole points thing came out, that's the worst. Buddy, we've made it through the worst. Don't worry about it. This is just a new coach coming in, and we don't know what the hell's going to happen. But if you guys
we do. We're going to get a bunch of riddles.
Oh, well, we're gonna get. I look forward to the riddles, man. I can't wait for the pressers.
At the bare minimum, we're getting some crazy shit.
Omi deboli. This guy is gonna be a treat, man. He is gonna be a treat. But I promise you, I don't have to like his contract, everybody. Okay, I don't even have to like him, which I don't. It's not gonna change me from supporting him, but that motherfucker better never wear a short sleeve shirt. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. If I catch this guy with a short sleeve shirt, I'm fucking flying to Torino. I'm going to slap the shit out of that fucker. Okay? At least he walked out of J Medical long sleeve today, and that's the way it's always going to happen. Otherwise, my God, they took his steering wheel away from Napoli. He might run his arm through a cheese grater in Turin, for God's sakes. So it is what it is. Let's see. The Spalletti era begins, everybody. The Spalletti era begins. And at the end of the day, no matter where you stand on the opinion, it really doesn't fucking matter. He's got to prove it. So, hey, for those that are with him and are wholeheartedly behind this decision, awesome. Hope it works out. And we're all happy. For those of us that are skeptical of it, hey, guess what? We still hope it works out. And we'll be happy. Because at the end of the day, it's about one thing, and it's this. And that needs to be the message to all the players. Hopefully he's the right guy to deliver that message. So, let's see. Let's see. There is no right or wrong or whatever, but I'm just skeptical. I guess what I'm trying to say in close, my skepticism is more about the management than it is actually Spalletti, because they could have had him. So my mind can't operate as to why they would have backed out, but now all of a sudden he's out. So that's it. It's more management more than anything. If I said we have to make a wager right now on the show, boys, Mas, Nick, you got to make a wager on this guy battling for the Scudetto right now. And say we're going to put bank accounts on the line. Straight up. Yes or no? He's having us battle top two. You have to put a significant wager. Are you in?
I'll throw a toonie down. How about that?
So that's a no from Mas. Mas is passing away the bet. Who's taking the bet? Chat,
don't
are you
believe
guys
that to be the
taking the
case.
bet that we battle and we're in the top 2 with Spalletti?
Maybe for a lifetime supply of cannolis or something. I don't know.
So it's a no on top 2. Top 3.
I don't know, man.
Third place finish. You taking that bet?
Maybe.
I'll take it.
Maybe.
You're going to take 3. Okay. So you guys are both in on 3. Mas is a
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, I'm a maybe.
Any doubts that he doesn't hit top 4?
No, I think he'll land top four.
Shut it all down at that point. Just shut it down.
I'm definitely taking top 4. Top 3, I'm definitely taking. Top 2? It could happen. It could happen. I'm a little iffy on that one. Top 3? I think he could do it.
The question is, do we have a team good enough to finish top 3? My concern here is the expectation with him coming in. Like, what do we expect based on the fact that the roster is still the same? I just don't want everybody to think this is going to be a revolutionary thing, because at the end of the day, the flaws in this roster are still there, right?
Well, this goes back to that one discussion we were having where what's the significance of the coach? How big a percentage are you applying to the roster and to the coach? And it was a 60-40 split.
Yeah.
Coach, 60%.
What if come January we get at least like another center back or something? Just to help with the thin kind of roster we have for our back line right now. If Bremer doesn't stay fit, when he comes back, which who the hell knows at this point what's going to happen with him. Then what?
These guys think I'm delusional by saying we're going to get top 3? Come on. You guys, Soiree, Justin, are you guys watching Serie A? You guys actually watching Serie A? To get third place in this league is like, to actually be amongst the top and fighting for it. I don't know how crazy that is when we're 6 points out and we've been shitting the bed for like a month and a half.
Apparently you put your hat on too tight.
But I mean,
it's a beautiful hat though.
If we run into injury issues, which is very likely based on our history, I mean, the depth isn't there for us to be able to sustain a challenge like that, right? That's the concern. The depth isn't there. This team is so far away from any sort of depth at all. It's concerning, right? We have a lot of building to do in those aspects. You look at all the best teams in the world, they're able to field another 11 with their bench, right? It's
yeah. Well, listen,
a lot of work.
I want to pick up Naima's spirits, okay? Soireet's calling me delusional, top 2. You know what? I've been told I'm too harsh on Spalletti. Fuck. There's only one thing I know how to do, okay? Let's throw a wager down. If Juve gets in top 2, season's end, okay? I'll run a crazy giveaway, okay? I'll run a crazy giveaway. You guys, what was the last one I did? 10 kits. 10 kits because I think it was around Allegri. I think I said there's no chance Allegri's still manager or whatever. He was still the manager. And I was like, fuck, okay. 10 kits. I'll match it, okay? And we'll go into the summer. I'll give 10 kits away if we're not top 2. And that's from me, a guy that doesn't even like Spalletti, okay? So I'll get on board. All aboard the Spalletti train where it's 24/7 philosophies and riddles and whatnot. Let's go, everybody, okay? Rochelle, let's go.
And Justin's got to come on wearing a Jagrova kit. Bam, let's do it.
Wearing a what?
Wearing a Jagrova kit.
Oh, I thought you said jabroni kit. I was like, doesn't he just put a T-shirt on for that since he is a jabroni? There you go, Justin. Good morning, brother. Hey, let's go. You guys, buckle up. Let's see what happens. But Mas, Nick, absolute pleasure covering this one. Nice to get back in the win column, everybody. Let's keep it rolling. Cremonese at the weekend, we got to smack them up. Spalletti, first one in charge. Let's see what he does with the lineup. See what he does with the setup. And let's see if he can get the attack rolling. Because, hey, the best way to ease the pain of what's going on at the back is to start banging goals in. So let's see. Let's see what he can do. You guys, I'll keep you in the loop on the news and everything in the build-up to that game. We're going to do a pregame show. I'm going to bring you a live watch-along at the weekend. And then, of course, post-match podcast. As always, no matter what, and no matter where you stand in the opinions, doesn't really matter what we think at the end of the day. It's what these guys do. So Spalletti, Juve, Vlahovic, Cambiaso, Yildiz, all you guys, get your shit together and let's keep winning games. Results matter. The rest, it's all just noise. So let's go, boys. Get it done. Spalletti, let's go, buddy. Let's go.
Earn the stripes.
Spaghetti.
Let's go.
Spaghetti.
Earn the stripes. And for God's sakes, cover that left forearm. Fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Ciao tutti.